It's Monday, May 11th, 2020, coming to you from beautiful Palm Desert, California. It's a stunning evening as I sit here out in the patio, a little breezy. I apologize if there's any distortion in the audio. Hopefully it's going to be okay. But I want to get into this video. I want to talk about a few articles I read here in the last 24 hours, and I want to respond to some comments. A couple people said, JB, you're negative. We need some good news. Give us some good news. And look, I wish there was some good news to give you. And if anybody out there has some good financial news with regards to this recovery, maybe there is some good news that some of the states are reopening, some businesses reopening. So I think that's really good news. But at the end of the day, this channel isn't about good news or bad news. It's about reality. It's about the truth. It's about what's really happening in the economy. Some people may say it's good news that the stock market is recovering. It's going back up, even though the Dow Jones was down 109 points today. But we all know why the markets are coming back. We know why the markets are surging. It's because the Federal Reserve is propping them up. The Federal Reserve is pumping and creating a lot of debt, a lot of money printing taking place in order for the markets to recover. It's a fake recovery. But if you have some good news regarding this economy, please comment down below, because I would love to hear about the good news. Look, I'm an optimistic person at the end of the day, but I also can see reality for what it is. I can see this economy for what it is. Look, this recovery since 2008 has been fake. But again, if you have good news, please comment down below. Let's go over a couple articles. These are some articles that I've gone over the last 24 hours that I thought were interesting. Here's one on CNBC. Mnuchin says jobless numbers will get worse before they get better. Unemployment may have hit 25%. That's on CNBC. I know you can't see this, but you can check that article out if you would like. 25%. We still got a ways to go here. Article on the hedge. A tragic record. For the first time ever, more than half of the U.S. population is not working. I mean, just think about the devastation we are witnessing as a country right now with regards to this economy. Daily Mail. Exclusive. Today will be your last working day with Uber. Watch as choke up executives tell 3,500 employees they are being laid off. Over a Zoom call, by the way. These are 3,500 frontline customer support jobs. So there's more people that are going to be added to the unemployment roll. That's on the dailymail.com. Here's another one on the hedge. Luxury real estate suffers price declines, suffocated by this economy and what is taking place. You know, this isn't new. Numerous times I reported from Newport Beach, parts of Orange County, South Coast Plaza, Fashion Island, Las Vegas, the Forum, the Wynn, multiple areas of luxury sales, luxury retail. And in this article, we're looking at some of this luxury real estate, whether it's luxury shopping, luxury restaurants, luxury housing. It's all getting pummeled right now. Here's another one on CBS News. This is incredible here. More than 12,000 Catholic churches in the U.S. apply for PPP loans, and 9,000 got them. There are 17,000 total Catholic churches in America, and 9,000 got PPP loans. You know, how does that make you feel right now if you're watching this video and you're a small business and you haven't even gotten a reply with your PPP loans? No, the process has been very difficult. Nobody's calling you back. The websites are down. Nobody's there to talk to you, nobody to reach out, nobody to help you. You're just, drowning right now in debt, nobody helping you. But one of the wealthiest entities in the entire world, the Catholic Church, 9,000 churches in the U.S., Catholic churches, got PPP loans, while small business here in America is being annihilated. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the criminality that's taking place. And again, my heart goes out to the small business owners, the mom and pop retailers, the mom and pop restaurants, people in hospitality. It's just incredible. Again, the Catholic Church, and nothing against the Catholic Church. There's phenomenal Catholics, but again, one of the wealthiest entities in the entire world, and yet they're getting triple P loans. Unbelievable. I was reading a report done by the University of Chicago, and in this report, it estimated that 42% of layoffs seen over the last several months would result in permanent job loss. For a lot of furloughed workers, it says here in the report, for a lot of furloughed workers, a non-trivial number will have no job to go back to because the company they worked for will have failed, or they will need fewer workers. So this Wall Street optimism that there's going to be a V-shaped recovery, it is a pipe dream. Again, as I said earlier, if you believe that there's going to be a V-shaped recovery, you're believing in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. It is not going to happen. And this isn't my opinion. This is just reality. Look at the facts, look at the numbers. Mathematically, it is impossible that there's going to be some V-shaped recovery. And we're now talking about a recovery in general taking years. If you watched my video last night, take a look at the thousands of rental cars just sitting right out here in the Palm Springs area. Right here at a little airport in Palm Springs, literally 3,000 cars that I saw. I don't even know if I went down the street, there's probably even more. But we just took 15 minutes, drove around the airport, saw around 3,000 cars just sitting. Another article here in the Hedge, U.S. depression, the V-shaped recovery fades away. And again, this is just reinforcing what I just said. Look at the facts. 50 million jobs lost right here just in the last 7 weeks. And people believe that there's going to be some magic switch that's going to turn on V-shaped recovery when people now have been financially devastated, credit cards being tapped out, the optimism wearing off, the faith in the system wearing off, the money in the savings and checking account wearing out. So these numbers are staggering. Let's dig a little deeper here. Let's look at the month of April. 7.7 million jobs were lost in hospitality and leisure alone. 2.5 million jobs in education and health lost in April. It's amazing. Think about, we lost 2.5 million jobs in education and health. It's shocking with everything going on that we'd be losing jobs in healthcare. 2 million in retail. We've lost so many jobs in retail. It's amazing that anybody even has a job in retail at this point. Another 2 million in professional services. Right now, credit card delinquencies are rising. Corporate debt continues to rise past all-time highs. So one thing that I see in the horizon is we're going to see higher taxes with these massive debts and deficits, with the pension crisis, with the debt crisis we're seeing in states like in Illinois. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to raise taxes. They're going to try to squeeze blood out of a turnip when people just don't have it, but they don't care. This is what usually happens. This is what's happening. Illinois is a prime example of the taxation that's taking place because of the debts, the deficits, the pension crisis. Here in California, more pension crisis taking place. One of the biggest, or the biggest pension in the entire world, right here, CalPERS. Look, it's in trouble. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to want you to make up the difference. And when the consumer's already tapped out, how does this play out? Another really good article today on The Hedge. It's titled, "As U.S. Slides into Depression, Consumers Have Never Been More Bullish on Stocks." Stock market continues to go up. Many people predicting it's going to break past 30,000 at Dow Jones. Dow Jones down about 109 today, but more bad news is good news. But while the stock market is going up, everything economically is crashing and burning. We look at the average Joe. His job's gone. His $400 of emergency savings was just spent on toilet paper. His bank is preparing to foreclose on his home. He's probably already had his car or one of his cars repoed. Do you really think the average Joe is thinking about how he is going to get all his money on the sidelines into the stock market? The average Joe doesn't have any money left on the sidelines. It's all been spent. It's all been used to pay bills. And the average Joe is falling farther behind. The average Joe is probably not prepared for the amount of inflation that is coming over the next year. Here's some things to come. They're predicting gas to rise 4.9% over the next year. Food prices over the next year to rise 5.4%. Medical costs to rise 9.25%, and rent to rise 4.57%. So, there's people out there that believe there's no inflation. The government's telling you inflation's around 2%. The average Joe is going to find out that there's a lot of inflation, and the average Joe, unfortunately, is going to find out that he or she was not prepared for what is coming. And I know most of you have been preparing. Continue to prepare. Things are going to get worse. Meat exports to China soar as U.S. supplies dwindle and workers risk health. You look at Smithfield. People, again, ask, what can I do to make a change? What can I do to make a difference? Maybe you don't buy meat or pork from Smithfield, owned by a communist regime. Smithfield was bought by China's WH Group for $4.7 billion in 2013. They are the biggest U.S. exporter of pork to China, biggest pork producer in the world. You want to do something? How about not supporting a communist regime? How about not buying meat or pork from Smithfield? I will never, ever buy anything from Smithfield. And, another thing is the amount of animal abuse they've been accused of, lost lawsuits from. Again, maybe we shouldn't be supporting this regime. They are a inhumane company. They are a communist country. And again, people ask me time after time after time, what can I do? Be cautious of where you spend your money. Be cautious of where you spend your time. But, this communist regime doesn't deserve 1 cent of your money. Buy from anybody other than Smithfield. So I'm going to wrap it up right here this evening, but I want to close with some notes. Sooner or later, something was going to prick this bubble. And no doubt the bubble has been pricked. And now that it has been pricked, the economy has been exposed. The economy is very sick. It's very ill. The economy is very fragile. And now we are seeing that. Even though the stock market continues to go up, too much has fueled the fragility. Out of touch credit ratings, leveraged balance sheets, stock buybacks, out of control credit and debt. Looking at all this data, watching the markets, it's almost a waste of time because only one thing matters, and it's the Fed support of these markets. And as long as it does, the stock market's going to go up and the economy is going to go down. I'm really worried about where this economy is going. I don't even care about the stock market at this point. Yes, I watch it. It just fascinates me day in and day out, the manipulation that is taking place. It does. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the market goes up 100 points or up 1,000 points. How is it doing it? It's doing it with pure corruption, pure manipulation. And if we were in a healthy economy, we would not see the kind of numbers we're seeing right now. This economy is being torched. It is being wrecked. And it is not going to get better anytime soon. And we will not know. I truly believe we're not going to really know the amount of devastation that has taken place probably until this fall, this winter. The repercussions are going to be historic, unrepairable, unsustainable. And we are not going to know how bad it is, I don't believe, until we go into the winter. All this money printing, all this stimulus, all these bailouts, we are going to pay a severe price for all this. People believe that money printing isn't going to hurt your purchasing power, that printing money out of thin air does no destruction to the dollar, that this is going to have no ill effect on the economy. I totally disagree 100%. I think what is taking place is there's no free market. The market's not dictating anything now. We don't really know what the value of anything is when the Fed is buying everything. So we have a very fake, artificial, propped up Ponzi scheme taking place. And I believe that we are going to see very, very extreme consequences for all this criminality, for this illusion that has been taking place for many, many years. I'm going to leave it there tonight. Continue to prepare, pray for this country. We are heading into some very, very rough times. And again, just take a look at what's happening in your areas. Before I go, I was in the Riverside County area today. I live in the Riverside County area, but I was about an hour away. Again, I cannot believe the amount of people living in tents off of the freeway. People living in tents, parking their cars right off freeway exits, living in little tent cities. We never saw this a few years ago, 10 years ago. Never saw anything like this. People now parking their cars off the freeway and living in tents right off the freeway, not miles off the freeway, not down some dirt abandoned road. They're living in tents right off the freeway, parking cars. Again, these are incredible times. I'm going to leave it there. Have an incredible week. Prepare. Make sure you're walking close to God. Pray for this country. Again, we do not know what tomorrow brings.